Today, we're going to tackle a really common puzzle for Canadian entrepreneurs. How do you finance that perfect piece of equipment when you find it in a private sale? Let's jump right in. Okay, so picture this. You've been scrolling online, maybe through Kijiji, or you heard about a deal through your network, and there it is, the exact machine, the perfect truck, the tool that's going to change everything for your business. It feels like a huge win. And then reality hits. How in the world are you going to pay for it? Shelling out that much cash isn't always in the cards. And, financing a private deal is a whole different ballgame than just waltzing into a dealership. And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? It's a trade-off. On one hand, you could negotiate an amazing price, maybe save thousands of dollars. But on the other hand, you're giving up all those built-in safety nets and easy financing options you get from a dealer. And that can feel pretty risky. So that brings us to our first section, the private sale dilemma. Let's really dig into what makes this whole risk versus reward thing so tricky for business owners. So here's the first wall that most people slam into. Your local bank, your credit union, they usually just don't do private equipment sales. For them, there's no official dealership to vouch for the equipment's condition or its real value. It makes them nervous, it's outside their comfort zone, and for a lot of buyers, it's a hard no right out of the gate. But hold on, that is not the end of the road. Not even close. There is an entire world of specialized lenders out there who thrive on this exact situation. So let's look at what's beyond the banks. I mean, this quote from Tomcat Leasing just says it all, right? Their whole business is built to solve this exact problem. They want you to go out and find the deal yourself, and they have all the systems in place to handle the financing part. So what does that actually mean for you? Well, for starters, you're usually looking at something called lease-to-own financing, and that translates into approvals that are way faster, payments that are much more flexible, and a whole lot less paperwork than a bank would ever ask for. And, key for a private deal, they're totally comfortable financing both new and used equipment. And if you think that sounds too good to be true, check out these numbers from First Capital Leasing. A 95% approval rate, and look at this, an approval time of 4 hours or less. I mean, just think about that compared to the weeks you could be waiting to hear back from a bank. It's a massive, massive advantage. Now, private lenders aren't your only other option. There's also a pretty powerful government program called the Canada Small Business Financing Program, or CSBFP. Basically, the government partners with lenders to share the risk, which makes them much more likely to say yes. And the potential here is huge. We're talking about financing up to $1.15 million for a single business, and that can cover new or used equipment, making it a fantastic option, especially for those bigger ticket items. Okay, let's move on. You've figured out that financing is actually possible. Great, but before you even start an application, you have got to do your homework on the equipment itself. Let's walk through the absolute must-do steps to protect yourself. All right. Time to put on your detective hat. First up, step 1, you need to verify they actually own it. Ask to see the original bill of sale. Simple. Next, step 2, get your eyes on the equipment. Inspect it top to bottom. Condition, hours, mileage, everything. And finally, step 3 is the big one. It's totally non-negotiable. You must check for liens. You have to make sure no one else has a financial claim on that piece of gear. Now, here is some really good news. You might not have to do all that detective work by yourself. As this quote shows, a lot of these specialized leasing companies will actually handle the due diligence for you. They'll run the lien searches, check everything out, and make sure the asset is free and clear. That is a huge weight off your shoulders. Okay, you're doing great. You found the gear, you did your homework, you picked a lender. Now, it's time to get all your documents lined up for the application. This table here breaks it all down, and it really just comes down to common sense, right? The lender needs to know who you are, what they're paying for, and that your business has money coming in. So you'll need your basic business info, all the details on the equipment, a carded application, and, as you can see down at the bottom, your last few months of business bank statements. All right, we're on the home stretch. The financing is approved. There's just one last, absolutely critical piece of paper that makes the entire deal official. Think of it as the legal handshake. Let me be crystal clear here. The bill of sale is everything. It is the official, legally binding document that proves you are the new owner. Without a proper, valid one, you simply cannot register the equipment in your name, period. And for this document to be legally sound, it has to tell the whole story. You need the date, the price, everybody's full legal names. You have to identify the equipment exactly, year, make, model, and that all-important VIN or serial number.
And look at that last point. It must have the signatures of every single person involved. If you miss any of these details, the whole sale could be at risk.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Let's end this section with the most important rule of all, spelled out right here by MPI. Every single buyer and every single seller has to sign it, no exceptions. That's what makes the transfer of ownership real.
So let's wrap this up. We've seen that even if your bank says no, there's a clear path forward with specialized lenders and even government programs. We've gone over the safety checklist you need to follow and the crucial paperwork to make it all official. So the only question left is the one on your screen right now. Is going the private sale route the smartest move for your business? Thanks for tuning in.